Good evening and welcome to the Ravenswood City School District Governing Board meeting of January 18. We will begin at 6:33 p.m. I will begin with roll call. Trustee Nunes,
Here.
Trustee Shabomahin,
I am present.
Trustee Tavera,
Present.
Vice President Bloom,
Here.
and I myself am present. Quorum is present. We will move on to item number 2, which is the approval of the agenda. Before we move forward, do we have any additions or comments regarding any of the agendized items? As I see none, I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the agenda. I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 5-0. We will move on to item number 3, which is closed session. Before we go into closed session, we will open the floor to any members of the public that wish to address any matters that will be discussed in closed session. As I see none, we will go into closed session at 6:33 p.m. Thank you. Just waiting for. Good, thank you. We will resume open session at 7:17 PM. We will move on to item number 5, which is report of action taken in closed session. For item number 3A, there was discussion and no action was made. Now we will move on to item number 6, which is from the floor. During this time, if you wish to address the board on any matters that are not agendized below, this is your time. As I see none, we will move on to item number 7. I will note that if you wish to make comments on any sections within the board agenda, we're gonna ask that you fill out a form. And then Maria will give it to our board clerk and we will proceed like that. So item number 7 is the consent agenda. Do we have any questions or comments regarding the consent agenda? As I see none, I will entertain a motion for item number 7.
I'll make a motion to pass item number 7.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 5-0. Now we will move on to item number 8, which is the superintendent's report.
Yes, trustees, for this next item, we wanted to create a space to commemorate the life of Christian Sabragia, who departed way too soon on January 5th at the tender age of 19. He was a former student of Ravenswood City School District, and he exuded unwavering dedication as a servant leader in the community of East Palo Alto and Eastern Menlo Park. He started a nonprofit at a very young age called Cool Line Kids, where a number of students benefited, regardless if they were students of Ravenswood. And he generously supported our community programs that provided opportunities for children. Always in tune with the community's effort to impact youth, and our most recent involvement with Christian was when he attended our vision team to launch the strategic work. And he was alongside his mom, Nicole Sabragia, to think about how to best make Ravenswood better for kids. And so we just want to create this space for the community, the board, to honor him.
Thank you. Would we like to take comment from the board first, or would we like to open it up first? Let's open it up. All right, so during this time, we're gonna open up for public comment for item number 8A. So if anybody wishes to share some words, we invite you at this time. Our speaker cards are right there. You could always speak and fill it out. Thank you.
That was my way to compose myself, Melanie. I needed a moment, okay?
Okay, so 2 minutes.
Good evening, my name is Rhonda White. Good evening, Superintendent, President of the Board, members of the board, communities, family, Ravenswood. It's with a heavy heart that I'm here. I'm trying really hard not to cry. I just wanted to say, as a teacher at Bellhaven, where Christian was for 2 or 3 years, it was great to see a young man so early be so mature, so friendly, so kind, and so respectful of adults and his peers. It is a true testament to his mother, Nicole, and the way in which she raised him and the community that he served and believed in. At that time, Bellhaven was a K-8 as most of the schools were. So he was there for 6th, 7th, and 8th. And when we heard of the news, we were all trying to figure out which teachers were there, who was there. And we found out those of us who were there who either we didn't have him in class, but we knew him well. He was loved by all. He was very mature and way before his time. That's what I think I can say. His love for his little brother Colton was amazing. I think even back then, Colton used to bug him and get on his little nerves, but that was his little brother who he loved and enjoyed. So when I stand up here and think about losing a child, I can't. I don't think anybody does. It's just as I lost my stepdad, a good friend of my little sister, her mom said it's just not the natural order. It does happen. We all have faith of some sort, of something. We know everything happens for a reason. It's just really hard to deal with death. That person is no longer here to hug, to love, to be a part of. But I am so thankful. I'll stop talking. I am so thankful to have been a part of Christian's life and to be able to share the love and the grace and the things that he did for everyone. So I'm here, Nicole. I'm here, Colton, whatever you need from me. It's just hard, but we loved him and his legacy definitely lives on. Thank you.
Hello to the board. Hello to Colton. Hello to Nicole. My name is Nicole Sullivan. I'm the STEAM coach at Cesar Chavez Ravenswood Middle School. And Christian will be missed. Christian really helped bring some of our Ravenswood students into community service. So my first interaction with him was he asked to come to my classroom some years back, and he actually recruited some of our 8th graders to want to join Cool Line Kids. 8th graders who had never done any community service, who at first weren't even thinking about serving the community. And his presentation helped them think, oh, maybe, yeah, I could help other people too. And they kept working with him for at least a year or two after that. So, I mean, he touched so many lives and he had the biggest smile. I'll never forget his smile. He's going to be truly missed, but I really appreciate everything that he did for the community. And he will live on through the lives that he touched. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Vida Amanat, and I wanted to thank the board for creating this space to commemorate and honor Christian and the work that he's done for our community. I first met Christian in a role at the primary school when I was there, and he still is and has always been my hope and for the youth of our community. He's someone who from a young age has seen the importance of raising and empowering young minds and young youth to become leaders in their community and to become agents of change and transformation. And he always did so by example and by seeing so much power and opportunity and growth in others. And every day he would come home. I tell everyone this, but where some youth might go home and play video games or hang out with their friends, every day he would come to school and say, how can I be of service? What can I do to support my community and to support the youth that are around me? And I know the day before he passed also, he spoke with me about his vision for the youth in East Palo Alto. His vision is that we're able to create positive spaces for our youth to come together, to serve, to think about how our innate abilities and talents can be of service to others, and to think about how we can really utilize the spiritual qualities we have in ourselves, our kindness, our generosity, our justice, and to realize that each of us has a soul within us that can shine and that can contribute to helping other souls to shine as well. I know that his spirit is greater than ever now and is looking down on our efforts. And I encourage just really everyone in our community to utilize this momentum that he's developed and this foundation that he's created to inspire us in the work that we do moving forward, whether it's with our schools, our families, our centers of education. I think we have a really powerful example in front of us to build on and work from. And I thank everybody for coming together and for making this space and for honoring this legacy that I hope will continue and with all of our.
Hi, I'm Gretchen Schwarz. I teach seventh grade ELA. I'm Colton's teacher for the last 2 years, and I'm also the ELA ELD coach at the middle school. And I didn't have Christian as a teacher, but I've been in the district for many years now, and just recall his activism along with his mom, just pilot, co-pilot together, the dynamic duo of just really service and activism, and it's still embedded. And I got to know him a little bit through some parent teacher conferences and meetings, and just his service, his advocacy, being an advocate, just his future and talking shop about being a teacher and just being in education, and just the light he had and shine. It fueled him, and it fueled me, because just to see it and witness it and talk to him. And I feel like I have a close relationship with Nicole. Like, we've been able to, like, it's like a school mom kind of thing, and just we talk and text, and it's an honor and privilege to be Colton's teacher, but just to know Nicole too, and just to recognize, Nicole, you're just an incredible mom, activist, and love for education and service. And I just wanted to speak to that and just extend you my love and gratitude, because you are still raising two incredibly beautiful young men, and just thank you for that.
Do we have any other speakers? As I see none, we'll open it up to the board. If the board wishes to make comment at this time.
So I had the honor and privilege of being Christian's math teacher during his freshman and junior year. The first year, he loved sitting in the front, and I remember this because I know that math was not his favorite subject, but he had so much resilience, and he'd be there every single time for office hours, and asking questions. And I don't think I ever told you this, Nicole, but my nickname for him was the gentle giant that sat in the front, because he had such a presence, and he was so loving and caring of everyone else in the classroom and of me as well. And I still don't have my words formulated, because I think, like, we're all still reeling from it, right? But as it's been mentioned by other people that spoke here, like, it's your love that emanated through him, and it's your results as a mother. Like, he was an amazing person, and we are all, this sucks. And so what I was doing, I wasn't trying to be on my phone, but I will steal some words from some of my coworkers, because we all love Tim Eddie Spell's Academy. And one of his teachers was talking about baby Jesus needing him. And so that's why he's up there now, planning camps for all the angels. Another teacher was able to reflect on her ability to look out the second story window and still see him running programs. And she's gonna miss that every day, because we were right next door to primary school. So I don't even know, I'm not very word thing, but we're here, I'm here, and I'm really sorry, and he's gonna be missed. And I really and truly appreciated him. And you don't get those students, those people very often, but I'm really, really happy and honored that I was able to interact with them for the time that I did.
Through the chair. I get emotional just thinking about a plant, so bear with me as I get through this. I don't have anything planned to say other than, Nicole, my heart is with you. My family's heart is with you. I had the pleasure of meeting Christian a few short years ago. I want to say it was in 2018. And so not too many years ago. And I remember being struck by his smile also. Someone mentioned his beautiful, bright, big smile. And then from that moment, from the time of meeting Christian, just to many other moments of the years, we'd have these touch points where they might not be direct, but you'd hear about something he did that was related to someone in your circle. And a few stand out. I remember one where I think, I don't know if it was before he was starting Cool Line or as he was starting it, and he reached out to Olatunde, my husband. And he wanted to talk about like, how do you start a nonprofit 501c3? How do you make this real? I'm ready. And we're like, who? He's like, who is this child emailing me? Is this serious? Like, I'm like, yeah, I think it's serious. I know his mom, Nicole. So yes, I think it's serious. And so just being struck by his like, let's go get it attitude at that time. We've also had some crossover more recently with his work at the primary school through Street Code Academy, because we had some folks there working, some of our team members who got to interface directly with him, and then working. I got to look at some of the curriculum he was building for the camp that he was going to use last summer. And again, just having this moment, like, how old is Christian again? Is he doing this by himself? Does he have a team? Like, is he paying people? What's his budget? I'm confused. But just again, being really impressed with the energy and the intention and the care that he was directing towards the things he was doing for people in this community. And the last thing I'll touch on was, and this is probably the most personal, is I have a younger son, Olatai, who I believe took a class with Colton before during the pandemic. I don't know if it was a game design class or something. By the way, so Taye says hello. But it was one, maybe it was again, maybe it was the second summer or the first summer, I can't remember, when Christian was running Cool Line Kids. And Ty wasn't able to, he wasn't actually a member of the camp. He wasn't a participant in the camp. But somewhere along the end, at the end of the camp, there was a bag. Someone showed up at our door with a bag with some supplies in it, with some treats, with some activities. And it was like for Ty. And we're like, who is this from? Like at our door, there's a bag and it's from Cool Line Kids. And so I remember again, just being like with Ty, like, who are these people thinking about me? Who are these people from my son's perspective? Who are these people thinking about my son? When he wasn't even an active member in anything. Taye, my son, was on Christian's mind. He was thinking about other children in the community. And so I think, number one, it speaks a lot to his heart, and, and his amazing spirit, but it also speaks to that of his family, because I believe family reflects family many times. And so I just want to extend my gratitude to both of you who are here and his extended family and say thank you for nurturing and stewarding such a beautiful soul. As we see, he touched the world everywhere he went, all the people around him, people who were in his, in front of his face, and people who weren't, he was thinking about them. And so I really appreciate that. And that's the spirit I hope to have for people, the care I want to have for my community members. So also thank you, Christian. Thank you.
Through the chair, I first met Christian last year in 2023 in March. I was attending a retreat that a funder had put on for an organization that I've worked for. And I first met Christian there. And even before I had first met Christian, I knew of him and had seen the work that he was already doing in our community. Just because as someone who works in nonprofits, we know that our community knows each other, the work that we do. And I was so impressed in meeting him in person. And it literally, that impression that I had of him followed up with what I had seen on social media and the work that he was doing in the community. And I was so impressed that someone as young as him was doing the work that he was doing. And it was inspiring, and it reminded me of myself, not that I was doing that work, but how I said, I wish I would have been doing work that he was doing at that age, because I wasn't doing that kind of work. And that speaks volumes about who he is, Nicole, who you are as a mother to him. And the inspirations that he got, because truly he was doing the work of the heart. Because someone as bright as Christian, and in those are moments that I had where I got to meet him, he could have been doing anything else, but he chose to serve. And that speaks so much to who he is. And so we honor him in his life, you as his mother, and are thankful that there are still young people in this community that want to serve our community. And that my hope is that his life will leave that lasting impact for, students and younger people that want to serve our community, because we need that. And so I'm thankful. I knew him, honestly the least, but I'm thankful that I got to meet him and thankful for his work and the service to our community.
So I know Nicole because when she ran, and I know she doesn't know that I know her, but we saw each other at Target and she was like, Jenny, right? I said, Nicole, right? She's like, wait, how do you know? I was like, how do you know? And it was a fun interaction. But I remember when she ran and I was either holding a tiny baby and listening to all of the different people running. I think Tam, you're running then too. And I thought to myself, I didn't think to myself, I voted for Nicole because I was like, she is a parent and she has kids in this district. And when I think about the Ravenswood graduate, right? And that's what this vision group and team is getting together to say, who is a Ravenswood graduate? And I think about Christian, I'm like, he is a Ravenswood graduate. He is a picture who we want to raise up in this school district. And Nicole raised that child up into a man. And I was thinking about Christian this week when I heard what happened, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened. I met him once at a Halloween event. He helped our little kids get some like treats and things to do. And then he added me on LinkedIn. So I got to see his whole, everything that he did, and started looking at all the stuff that he did. And I'm like, he started in 4th grade. And when we think about kids who are 19 years old, they're thought of as emerging leaders. And I think about Christian and I'm like, he wasn't an emerging leader. He was a established leader. He was someone that showed our community, what does it mean to love your neighbors, to love your community, and to want to do better for every single person in it, no matter what. And I know that's that same passion Nicole has. Anytime she speaks, anytime she's advocating for something, she has that same heart and that same passion. And that is something that she's given to her children. And when I think about Christian and I looked at his LinkedIn, I was like, this can't be. And I was like, literally the day before he posted a job, he posted a job for Cool Line Kids. So he was always constantly doing work and thinking about others and thinking about how to make this place a community where children grow and thrive and love other people and themselves and know that they are valuable. And he really showed that in every single thing. And, Sam said that he knew him the least. I really think I knew him the least. But that heart is something that we all know, we all love, and we all want to see happen in our community. And I'm so thankful for the legacy that he has left, for the ways that he has impacted every single child, adult, and member in this community. That when we read articles about him, you can't not just be impressed and be sad that we've lost such an amazing person to be part of this community. And I really hope, all of the words that everyone shared, that we all take that to heart and want to also share that light with others, because that's what he did until his last day. So thank you, Nicole, for raising such an amazing son and for continuing to raise another amazing son. And we hope that we continue to rally around your family, around our community, to continue to raise up people like Christian. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to say that I'm pro tears. I think, during this time, it's a natural thing to want to commemorate someone, but I also want to open up the space to go through the emotions of honoring someone who lived an amazing life. I just want to say that I believe that you are a extremely special person. When you dedicate a part of your life to serving the young people of any community. I believe that you are an extremely special person, even more when you're a young person who turns around and helps other young people, even when you might be going through some of the same issues that that person is going through. As a young person, once upon a time, that did a lot of community work. It was a sacrifice. It was a lot of commitments. And you were oftentimes put in tables to be a speaker way before you knew what the adequate words were, but you were there, you were present, you were active. And that is one of the things that I was amazed at, is all the meetings that I was fortunate to attend with Christian. And if I was struggling, I can't imagine a young person sitting there as well, but he was very attentive. He was very present. He was very aware, which I admired about him. I think that Christian was an amazing person for our community. I feel so blessed that I even get to have an opportunity to just share some of the experiences that I've had with him, because I really do believe that he is a local hero for our young people. I was fortunate to work with him on a number of different things across East Palo Alto. So we got to interact quite a bit. He was a gentle giant. He had such a calm spirit. And when you know that when you're doing work in East Palo Alto, it can get very contentious. But anytime I was at a table with him, I always felt like I needed to be just a little bit more mature and a little bit more calm and a little bit more patient with some of the words that I used. I learned how to be present, how to listen, and how to also make room so that our young people can interact and engage. I admire Christian for some of the work. Some of my nieces and nephews have gone to some of the Kuline activities, and they had so much fun. They were so excited, and they always looked forward to the next thing and the next thing. We were fortunate at Bloom House to host some of his trainings and events. And so I got to just chat with him, and he would come up so politely. You know, we have some members of our community that will just kind of barge their way through. But Christian was always so respectful, and I think that I'll miss that about him. This is a huge loss for our community, for our young people. But I believe that we have learned some great lessons from Christian. And I believe that this generation coming up and some of the generations that are present will continue with some of those things that he fought for, continue with some of the things that they learned from him. And so even though physically he's no longer here with us, I believe that his work and his spirit will continue on with the generations to come. I'm proud to be a community member that knew him, that met him and got to work with him. I hold that with such a great honor. And I just want to thank you, Nicole and family, for sharing your son with us. He gave up so much of his youth to help others. And I think that that's incredible. I think that's amazing. And I will add in my little 2-minute pitch, my little pitch right now. If the city council's listening, there's so many community members that have days dedicated to them. And I believe that Christian should also be one of those people who has an official city day in our calendar dedicated. So I will start that conversation with the city. I believe it's due, way overdue. And if I can help push that along, I will. And I just want to thank you, Nicole. Thank you to the family and supporters that came out here today. When we were discussing this board agenda, it was really important that we practice what we preach when it comes to self-care and making sure that our community is taken care of. And this was something that we wanted to discuss with and for the community. So thank you all for coming here tonight. Thank you to our board and everyone that spoke and shared such beautiful testimonies. It was very encouraging, especially coming into this new year of 2024. And if there's any way that we can support you and the family, just let us know and we'll be there as much as we can. Thank you. Superintendent, do we have any other things? Thank you. We will now move on to item number 8B. which is the consideration to approve proclamation resolution number SY 2413, recognizing February 1st through March 1st, 2024 as Black History Month in the Ravenswood City School District. I will entertain a motion for item 8B.
Through the chair, I'll make a motion to approve item 8B.
Thank you.
I'll second.
This is resolution number SY 24-13. Ready? Salah. Okay.
Read every word.
Every word. Recognizing February 1st, 2024 through March 1st, 2024 as Black History Month in the Ravenswood City School District. Whereas Black History Month is an annual celebration of achievements of African Americans and a time for recognizing the central role of African Americans in U.S. history. And whereas this year's theme of African American and the Arts is set every year by the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, an organization founded in 1915 by Dr. Carter G. Woodson, the famed African American historian known as the father of Black history. And whereas African American artists, poets, writers, visual artists, musicians, and dancers have historically served as change agents through their crafts and art of resistance. And whereas the Ravenswood City School District empowers its students with visual and performing arts on a daily basis, incorporating the diaspora of BIPOC artists within the VAPA courses offered to every student via our specials and elective courses. And whereas African Americans have resisted historic and ongoing oppression in all forms, especially the racial terrorism of lynching, racial pogroms, and police killings since their arrival upon these shores. These efforts have been to advocate for a dignified, self-determined life in a just democratic society in the United States and beyond the United States political jurisdiction. Whereas the observance of Black History Month calls our attention to the continued need to battle racism and build a society that lives up to its democratic ideals. And whereas in May 2021, the Ravenswood City School District created our anti-racist statement, acknowledging that racism has an inherent and permanent impact on our students' lives. We actively work to systematically dismantle the racist structures and practices in our schools. And whereas Black History Month is also an occasion to commemorate the countless contributions of African Americans, many of whom lived through and surmounted the scourge of segregation, racial prejudice, and discrimination to enrich every fiber of American life. And whereas Ravenswood City School District continues to work toward becoming an inclusive community in which all citizens, past, present, and future, are respected and recognized for their contributions and potential contributions to our community, the state, the country, and the world. Now, therefore, be it resolved, Ravenswood City School District does hereby proclaim February as Black History Month and encourages all residents and visitors alike to join us in celebrating this special month.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Moving on to item number 9. Item 9, which is the consideration to approve Second Amendment to the contract with USA Properties.
Good evening, trustees. The board approved a option agreement accompanying ground lease for the 2120 Euclid and the development of affordable housing at this site in partnership with USA Properties. That agreement called for an initial diligence period, which we extended due to a lack of certainty on several issues. We extended that 1 month in December. That is now expired or about to expire, say tomorrow. USA Properties has asked us for another 1 month diligence extension. This does not change the overall timeline of the project. So this keeps that outside date, but it does delay their initial deposit, quote unquote, going hard. There are three issues that we're working through. I should say USA Properties is working through. One is the ongoing anticipated litigation with the sanitary district. The second is some ongoing issues with the ability to get water to the site or large amounts of water to the site under sufficient pressure from the fire district. So they're working through that. And the third issue is they only recently received feedback back from their preliminary application from the city. So not necessarily an issue and that it needs to be resolved. More just they're working through that. Because of those three factors, of which I think the sanitary district is the largest sort of unknown, they have asked for another extension period. I would say to USA Properties' credit, I do believe that they are working diligently on resolving these issues. They are complicated issues, but they are not yet resolved at this time, and therefore they have asked for an extension. I do recommend that the board grant this extension request, but I certainly understand any frustration the board may feel about the delay on getting this diligence period closed. With that, I'll conclude my remarks.
Do we have any comment from the board?
Through the chair, yes, thank you. Dr. Eager, thank you for this report. I have a question on the you want us to approve a month extension, well, a little bit more than a month, yes? Do we think things will be, with all that's going on with the city and sanitation district, that things will be resolved to a point at that end, or do you anticipate this coming back?
I never appreciate questions where I have to forecast the future. I would say I think in the December extension, I had a sneaky feeling that we were going to get another extension request at this point. I would say I hope that this is the end of the extension request. So still some things to work through, but at this point they have feedback and are actively are actively engaged with the relevant parties to resolve these issues. And so I don't necessarily know how they're going to resolve. And sometimes in that discovery process, sort of more questions arise, but I am hoping that in the next, if the board chooses to grant this extension, during that period, most of those issues will be resolved. So I feel more optimistic than I did in December that this will be the last extension.
Any other comments on the board? I remember in my previous comment that I said that they might need extra time. Didn't I think I said that? Yeah.
I do recall that.
It's understandable with the current state of our city. I think it would be great if we were to host a intergovernmental meeting. Not a full city council, full board meeting, but let's work with the city manager to schedule our 2x2. I think that this could be a discussion that we also bring up within that committee, in the hopes that it'll progress forward. Do you think this amended time is enough for them?
Difficult to speculate. I am hoping that this will be the end of the extensions.
Okay.
So I don't know, but I certainly would not want to err on too much time, as it were, too. Right. I certainly feel like they've been hustling to resolve these issues, and I don't want them to take their foot off the gas.
Okay, noted. That's it for me. Do we have no other questions or comments? I will entertain a motion for item number 9.
I move to approve item number 9.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 5-0. We will move on to item number 10, which is board reports and communication.
I think the first thing I want to say is this is School Board Recognition Month, so I would like to honor and recognize my coworkers here. Just for the work that our board gets to do. And one of the things that Sam and I got to be a part of earlier last week was the grand opening of the new buildings at the middle school. And so that was a very exciting thing to be at, and the buildings are amazing and they look amazing. And I was glad to be there.
Through the chair, also want to echo Jenny's comments. Being there for the opening of our school, very awesome to see, to tour the site at the beginning of the day. And then I also want to add that on that same Tuesday in the afternoon, I was able to attend and represent the board at our vision team. There was a fourth meeting and very exciting. I just want to share updates, quick brief updates. Something that I heard that I really want to echo is what I kept hearing from is that many people that are there are excited to be there and they feel like they have a place at the table. And so that goes from community members, staff, teachers, community members, community leaders, throughout this whole process. And one of the big takeaways is that we've been working on this student learner profile, and just really this profile's aim is to really, identify and understand, what the needs of our students are, and here at Ravenswood, but also see what their strengths are and their weaknesses are. And then how, as a collective community, how do we support those strengths? How do we, reinforce and strengthen the weaknesses? And then, just continue to provide an environment of learning where a whole student is supported throughout their whole time here at Ravenswood, so that when they leave, that they leave and well prepared. And so it was it was not a close to final draft of the learner profile because the process is still ongoing where there's still going to be tweaks and edits and community feedback, but it's exciting to see that and to have the community involved in that learner profile process. So excited for that. And thank you to the superintendent and the staff that has been, the backbone of this, and excited for our community's participation in this.
Wonderful. Also earlier this week, we celebrated Martin Luther King. Thought I should just throw that in. So I hope everybody had a relaxing day, but also reflected back on the great work. Yes, Trustee Shibumi?
Through the chair, yeah, before you close us out too, because I want you to get the last word. I just see Street Code Academy in the building, so I just wanted to send a shout out to Street Code Academy because I know they were here yesterday doing some work with some workshops going forward with the district. So just wanted to publicly say thank you to y'all. Appreciate y'all. Sorry. Thank you.
You're good. You're good. Also, I just want to welcome back our district to a new year, 2024. Amazing job to all of our staff, students, teachers, community. Let's hope that this year continues to be another prosperous one. And with that being said, the next regular board meeting will be held on February 8th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. Open session will be at 7:15 p.m. I will adjourn the Ravenswood City School District Governing Board meeting at 8 p.m. sharp. Thank you.